Hello. Hope you're well on this Christmas Eve, December 23rd, 2023. This year's almost over. It's amazing, but it's almost over. And I say that every year. It's true though, right? The older you get, the faster time goes. It's just nuts. My parents were right when I was a kid. I didn't think they had any clue what they were talking about, but they were definitely right. Time just goes by faster and faster and faster, and it's no good. Time is of the essence. Anyway, hope you're doing well. I'm gonna blurt out a bunch of videos here in the next week and talk about like some of my favorite albums of the year, some of my favorite reissues of the year. It dawned on me as I was kind of collating all of my stuff that I bought this year. I realized that I probably bought more reissues than I've bought in my whole life. A lot of good stuff came out this year in terms of reissues, so thought I'd do a video about that. In fact, I plan on doing a couple videos about my best releases because I feel like there were a lot of good albums this year, and I don't want to cram them all into one video. So I'll do that next week. And I definitely plan on doing 4 or 5 videos next week. So I hope you guys find some time to do it. This is the Christmas break, so I have some time to ramble about movies and music. So I'm going to do that. And I hope you checked out my Exorcist video, judging by the number of people who have watched it. You have not watched it yet, or at all, and you don't plan to. It's so funny. I always think that a certain subject of a video will do well, and then I'll post it and hardly anybody watches it. And then the vice versa of that too. It's like I'll post something, I don't think anybody will watch it, and it gets 1,000 views in a week. So it's weird. I can't predict it. I've given up on trying to predict YouTube. Anyway, I look forward to the holiday season being over. I cannot stand the holidays. They just drive me nuts. They bug me. I don't like them. I think especially the Christmas season just reminds me of how lost this society is, how obsessed with money this society is, how desperate people are for attention during the Christmas season. I I went to a local mall yesterday because I could have bought Christmas presents for my family online, but I sometimes force myself to leave my home because I you can do everything from your home. And sometimes I miss having those experiences that we all had prior to a decade ago when you actually had to leave your house to go do things. So sometimes I force myself out of the house just to experience the world. So I did that last night. I did my Christmas. I went to a local mall here in town, the Clackamas Town Center. If you're wondering which mall I went to the Clackamas Mall, and I was reminded why I shop online. I should have just had the shit shipped to me so I didn't have to experience that. I mean, this mall, if anyone is wondering why our earth is so riddled with anxiety, I invite you to go to a fucking mall, okay? It's the only explanation you need. God, why is everyone so anxiety ridden? Go to the mall. That's all you got to do. Go to the mall. Jesus, man, it's like it was like a third world country when I went in there. They're herding everyone. They have like multiple different entrances at this mall, but they're herding everyone in through the same entrance. They've got every other entrance locked down for some reason, and they're herding everyone in through the same entrance. So there's hundreds of people coming and going, and there's fucking vomit on the ground. It looks like someone puked and no one picked it up. People are yelling and screaming at each other. People are kicking doors and windows, and these are adults too, kids. And you think just kids do this? It's kids and adults just wandering around desperately looking for attention. Their aim is to do anything that garners them attention. It doesn't matter what it is. They all have their phones out. They're ready to capture something so they can put it on X. It's a fucking depressing world we're in, man. I went there and I went in through the entrance and all this scuffling was going on. I was like, oh dear God. I'm glad I already bought and paid for the stuff that I'm picking up because I do not want to browse. I just want to go to the stores and pick this shit up and leave. And that's what I did. I was in the mall for maybe 10 minutes and I got the fuck out. And I don't know that I'll ever be doing that again. I'd rather pay the extra money to have the shit shipped to not experience what goes on in malls or just any shopping store, any store anywhere. It is a freaky world, man. People didn't used to be this crazy. Kids out there, anyone watching this, like maybe under the age of 20, the world hasn't ever been like this before, okay? The world actually used to make a little sense when you went to the store. You didn't have to fear for your life. Good Lord, it's just a really bizarre world, and especially during the Christmas season. This is what I was getting at. This was my larger point. I know you're sitting there scratching your head going, does this idiot have a point? Yes. My point is, I don't like Christmas season. It sucks. But I have a family and we get together and you do things during the Christmas season and it is what it is. But I am patiently waiting for it to be over the minute that it starts. My family gets together on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is just a lot of nothing, really. So tomorrow will be the day that everyone congregates, and then I'll be looking forward to getting that over with. I mean, I love my family, but you get all of your family together and under one roof, and especially if your family is a mix of Italian and Irish, which is my case. It's very loud, it's crazy, borderline psychotic, and I patiently wait for it to be over. It's nice to see everybody, but for about 5 minutes. And then after that initial 5 minutes, I'm done. I'll probably be stoned. That'll help me get through it. 'Tis the season to be stoned. That is the one good thing about the holiday season. My marijuana purchases definitely ramp up during that time. But enough about that. Enough about my hatred of Christmas and the holidays and bah humbug. I'm here to talk about some records. Now, this is going to be a new release video. I'm not going to talk about all of the recent purchases I've made because a lot of those will be included in my favorite albums of the year videos that I'll do. But this is just, I've been making purchases randomly over the last few months, and here's some random things that I've picked up. This is stuff that won't be on my favorite albums list. A lot of these are just 12 inches. So I'm going to try to focus on albums when I do my videos. And some of these are comps too, like compilations. So I will start with this. I don't even know the artist. I can't even read the label, but this is a very exciting cover, as you can see. And I can't even think of the artist. I don't even know who the artist is, and it's too dark in here to look at. Let me shine a light on this. Let's see. O&J and Melchar Sultana. That's who it is. I knew that. O&J. He's been around a long time. This is their new release on Deep. And this is an excellent label. I just generally pick everything up on this label. It's always of high quality dance music. Usually in the house/techno vein. But this is a label that just puts out good stuff. Like Luke Vibert has put things out on this label. So the quality is high. And yeah, it's excellent. I definitely would recommend picking anything up on the Deep label. This is a really good stuff. And let me check something. Okay. I wanted to check my sound. For a minute there, it looked like I wasn't getting any sound. I guess I'll find out when I'm done. I just rambled for 40 minutes and there was no sound. Anyway, the new record on Deep. It's a 12-inch 4-tracker. This is another really exciting cover. I know, I mean, this is what you get when you buy dance music. This is the new Thomas Melchar record on the label My King is Light, I think. Yeah, My King is Light. And this is a double pack. Thomas Melchar, man. And I might be mispronouncing his name, I don't care. But Thomas Melchar is a guy that I've been buying his records for 30 years now. And he just never does any wrong. He's one of those titans of house and techno. Whatever he does, I pick it up. He only puts out good stuff. He put out another record, The One, this year that I might be talking about in my best albums of the year. It's technically a single, but it's got enough versions on it where it's an album. It's basically a double album. I might bring that up in my greatest albums of the year. And I already talked about The One in an earlier video this year, but this is the newer one. This one is called, what is this? The Call. The Call with different mixes on it. 2 records worth. Thomas Melchar, he is a king. Love this guy. Everything he does. And it's been that way for years too. He used to be in a group called Vulva back in the 90s where he made like acid techno, and he's recorded with Baby Ford, and he's a master at what he does. I buy everything he does, and I have for a long time. Here's another really exciting cover. I know. You guys want me to show records. These are the records I pick up. This is Hidden Sequence. This is just good techno music. Kind of dub techno. I bought that recently and I enjoy it. So there you go. Here's another exciting cover. I'm done with these boring covers after this one, by the way. I put all these at the top because I know they're boring, but these are things that I've been picking up. This is the new Ian Ludwig record. And he is a Dutch minimal techno guy. He's one of those names that I will just pick it up on sight. I don't need to hear it. Whatever Ian Ludwig does, I'm all over it. This dude makes some excellent electronic music. If you like techno that's deep and groovy with some ambience thrown in, a very complicated, intricate dance music, you don't get any better than this. Ian Ludwig is a master, and I love the guy. He's one of those guys that you won't hear from him for a year or so. Like he'll do nothing. You won't see any records. You won't see any remixes of his. But then out of the blue, he'll have a flurry of releases all at once. Because here's another one. I hadn't seen any new Ian Ludwig 12 inches or albums for a while. And then last month, I bought both of these on the same day. This is another Ian Ludwig. And it has a cover. Look at that. It actually has some artwork. I don't even know what this is called. What is this called? This is, it says Polyson. Polyson. Here's the labels. This is a 4-tracker. That other Ian Ludwig 12-inch I just showed was 2 tracks. His songs are usually really long, as all good techno music should be. This is 4 tracks. So I was happy to get these, some Ian Ludwig action. This is a reissue. I'm not quite sure what this was. I'd never heard of this. I picked this up at Juno. Toshimi Mikami, is that what it is? Yeah, Toshimi Mikami. Kimai. Never heard of it. I listened to some samples at Juno and I really enjoyed it. This is a reissue. This came out in the 80s, I guess. Origami Music Volume 1. And it's very ambient, but it sounds like, I hate to say new agey, but it's very Japanese 80s style. You hear bamboo and you hear bells being, wind chimes chiming in the background. And normally I don't like that stuff, but I think because of the electronicness of this, I was really into this. I love Japanese music in general. I really do. Here he is. This sounds like 40 years old. Nice little gatefold sleeve. It's really limited. I think there were only, I don't remember. Gino said it was limited. I don't know how many were made. Let's see, this says 1996, but that's just a comment made by Hiromi Hosono, and we know who that is. I hope you know who that is. If you don't, you should go look that up. Let's see, it says 96 here. Okay, I thought it was 80s, but this came out in 96. I'd never heard of it, so I really enjoy this. And I'll just pull one record out. Both records are kind of on this pink, purpley, see-through vinyl here. And it's a good press. I played it. Sounds fine. Highly would recommend this if you enjoy ambient music, really. But definitely has a Japanese bent to it. Wind chimes and bamboo, and it's meditation music, truly. Really enjoy it. This is something I'm surprised I picked up, but it just kind of caught my ear. And I enjoy it. This is Adena Dens. Just picked this up a few weeks ago. I'm not going to show the label. I got to pull it all out, and it's going to be too time consuming. It's got a little OB strip here. Pulling this out and putting it back in would take me probably an hour, so I'm not going to do it. But I really enjoy this. This is just psychedelic psych rock, really. That's how I was hearing it. Really good instrumentation. I was digging the vibes on this. Yeah, I really enjoy this. If you like that psych rock vibe, krautrock, psych rock, whatever however you want to put it, I was feeling it on this, and I enjoy it. This might be kind of a random release. I picked this up a few weeks ago after seeing the movie, maybe a month ago, the Holdovers soundtrack. Fantastic movie, by the way. I've already recommended this on my channel. I'm going to recommend it again. This is a brilliant movie. Maybe my favorite movie of the year. I haven't seen The Zone of Interest yet. I have a feeling that could be my favorite of the year. I haven't seen it. Love Jonathan Glazer. I've read the book, The Zone of Interest. I am beyond excited to see The Zone of Interest. So I haven't seen it yet. But as of now, this is probably my favorite movie of the year. The Holdovers. Alexander Payne. You cannot go wrong with him, with one exception. His previous movie, Downsizing, was utter shit. It was really surprisingly bad. Alexander Payne otherwise has a flawless record. He's directed movies like Election, About Schmidt, Sideways, The Descendants, Nebraska. The guy's a master at what he does. And this is a brilliant movie. Loved it. And fantastic music. And the movie was it was based in the early 70s, and everything about the movie is very retro. He makes it look very much like a 70s movie. The music is all from the 60s and 70s. Even this release is kind of 70s-ish. You get some old school black and white photos. Like soundtracks kind of looked like this back then. You got a nice, thick, well-made gatefold cover with some photos and cast information. Really nice release. The inner sleeves are all printed. Lots of text, information. The one thing that I cannot recommend about this are the actual records themselves. Unfortunately, that didn't go so well. The pressing I found to not be very good. The records are thick. You can tell they're 180 gram, but that doesn't make them automatically better. It's not an automatic good thing. It's just, 180 gram. You can still press records poorly on 180 gram. There are lots of marks coming right out of the sleeves. There are a couple of marks that were deep enough that you could hear. This is a new record. That should not be happening. So the presentation is excellent. Everything looks great. The inner sleeves, the labels themselves look nice, but then when you drop the needle down on the actual records, it's disappointing. But whatever. I enjoy having this. This is a brilliant movie. This guy right here is one of the best actors that we've ever had. I think it's deeply annoying that this man isn't in more movies. He's doing like phone commercials and shit because he can't get work. The only reason he doesn't get work too is because he's so strange looking. You've got to be who's that big buff fucker that does those stupid Aquaman movies? I don't know what the fuck his name is, but that's what you have to look like to be an actor nowadays. Doesn't matter how good of an actor you are, you just have to have that look. You have to have a look where people are going to want to masturbate to you in order to be an artist. That's what makes you an artist nowadays. It doesn't matter if you're an actual brilliant actor like Paul Giamatti is, because he looks so weird. He doesn't have the career that I feel like he should. Instead, we're watching that fucking Aquaman dickhead jerk off to his trident over and over. I mean, how many fucking Aquaman movies do we need? How bereft of entertainment must you be in your life to sit in a theater for 2.5 hours and watch some gym rat meathead stick a trident up his ass for your entertainment? How fucking desperate are you? There's my movie criticism of the day. Here's another record I just picked up. Sleaford Mods cover West End Girls. Look at this. How can you? I saw this. I was like, how can I not pick this up? I don't even need to hear it. I think Sleaford Mods are good. I think they're funny to me. I don't know. As an American, I hear them and I just laugh. Sometimes I feel like isn't that the point? It's a joke, right? But people love these guys, man. It's hard for me to tell if I don't think they take themselves seriously, but they do at the same time. I guess that's part of the mystery, right? I don't know. Maybe a Sleaford Mods fan can tell me. I watch them, I see their videos and listen to their music, and I just laugh. I think it's hilarious. The other artist, like from 20 years ago or so, that I thought was funny was The Streets. Remember that pasty white British guy who was rapping? Like British people loved him, but here in America, he was just a joke. It was like, really, this is a rapper. But that's British rap music. Americans laugh at it. I thought that Streets kid was terrible too. I didn't hear it. I didn't get it at all. Uh, but Sleaford Mods, I don't know. I enjoy it. I think it's funny. Like all they add to this is the singer, the rapper, whatever you want to call him. All he really adds to this song is yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that alone is funny to me. I don't know. He sings the lyrics just as Neil Tennant delivered them and wrote them, but then the one thing he adds is yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's to me that's funny. I honestly didn't really love this track, and I didn't even, there's a Pet Shop Boys remix on here too, so I thought that was the final selling point for me. I was already on board with the fact that they were covering this, but then the Pet Shop Boys themselves pop up and do a remix. I thought their mix was okay. It just sounds like an updated Pet Shop Boys mix with Sleaford Mods rapping over it. But it's a fun record. I enjoy it. I pick up anything related to the Pet Shop Boys. I love them. They're one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. Probably more of a I don't know. Probably more of a British thing. I don't know. Sleaford Mods. My brother loves them, but he laughs at them. He thinks they're funny. So I don't. Do British people laugh at them like Americans do? I can tell you right now, Americans laugh at Sleaford Mods. Not that that's a bad thing. People still enjoy them. I picked this up because I love Eels. I love Mr. E. He's one of my favorite songwriters. This is a compilation of his later stuff, like Eels stuff from the past, I think like 15 years or so. They put out a compilation that covered Eels up through like Blinking Lights, I think. And so this compilation is everything post Blinking Lights. You get like Fresh Blood, That Look You Gave That Guy, Lying in the Dirt, Little Bird, Spectacular Girl. Like it's later hits. In fact, I think is there a year? Translucent green vinyl featuring five tracks making their vinyl debut, three of them previously unreleased. Yeah, I think the last side on these tracks are songs that I've never heard before. There's even a Christmas song on here. Again, I love Eels. It's a nice package. You get the gatefold. There's Mr. E penetrating your psyche with his laser-like focus. Mr. E is a hell of a guy. Really funny, insanely talented guy. Love him. Nice inner sleeves. There he is making an important phone call with a hot dog. These things need to happen. Business calls need to be made. That's what Mr. E is doing right here. He doesn't mess around. Here he is wandering around in a library. So it's a nice package, nice lush inner sleeves. The pressing itself is pretty good. It's on green wax, as you can see. Looks cool, sounds good. If you're an Eels fan, this is a no-brainer purchase. I have quite an Eels collection. I've often thought about doing Eels videos, but I feel like the people who watch my channel wouldn't give a single shit. Like I did a Violent Femmes video a couple weeks ago, and yeah, pretty much nobody watched it. So I learn things. Sometimes I just do videos because I am listening to something and I want to talk about it. But I also am at a point with my channel where I want to do videos where people are going to watch. And people definitely did not watch that one. Anyway, probably I'll probably never do an Eels video, although I definitely could. It'd be easy. It's getting pretty dark in here. Let me turn this on over here. It's a little better, right? This is just a random compilation. It's called There Will Be Light. I think this is a Ukrainian benefit, a Ukrainian fundraiser thing. I got this from Juno. It's got some really nice electronic cuts on here. It's 2 records filled with music. I mean, you're getting a full 80 plus minutes of stuff. A lot of these artists I've never heard of, but you also have John Beltran, some bigger names like John Beltran, Anthony Rother. I mean, these are the people I've heard of. Sebastian Maillard, BV Dub. Those are the artists I've heard. But most of these other ones I've never heard of. And this is excellent stuff. I was really enjoying this. Just electronic music. There's some ambient on here. There's some techno. There's some house. Let me move this out of the way. Good stuff. Generic inners. There are the labels. You get 2 records stuffed in here. Lots of good stuff. This is one of those records I wasn't looking to buy. It popped up on Juno, and I listened to the sound clips, and I was like, I need to have that in my life. And I'm glad I picked it up. And I picked this up in the same haul. This is called Ambient. It has a little card with it, as you can see. And they're numbered, as you can also see. This is 41 of 150. And this has some classic stuff on here. Sandoz, otherwise known as Richard Kirk. We have React to Rhythm, Strange Cargo, which is William Orbit. Aphex Twin, of course, we know who that is. Underworld Music, Mike Paradinas. Biosphere. There are some ambient tracks on here, but there's some tracks that are nowhere near ambience, like React to Rhythm. I mean, they're a progressive house act, and this is the left field mix. Nothing ambient about that. This Sandoz track is, that's not ambient. They have little flutters of it, like I guess you can just call anything ambient nowadays. But this is a pretty beat-ridden 90s techno compilation, and I have most of these songs anyway on their respective releases. But when I saw all this stuff collected on one, and I guess there are only 150 of these I got made. I don't know if they meant, I got this at Juno. I don't know if they meant there are only 150 of this, or there are 150 of this as well. But it was so limited, it caught my attention, and it's just a great compilation too. You get 2 very nice glossy inner sleeves. Some info. He writes about the music he loves. Who is the guy that put this together? It is a DJ we all know, John Savage. John Savage. Some of his favorite 90s ambient music. Not really ambient to me, but who cares? It's all kind of in that realm. And you get records that are, wow, this one's stuck in here. Well, it's just black. I haven't actually listened to this yet. Like I said, I have most of these songs anyway on their respective releases. I look forward to hearing this, though. The pressing looks okay. I bought so many records in my life, like I can pretty much look at records and know if it's going to be a bad press or not. And these look okay. So I'm not too concerned about this in terms of sound quality. And yeah, you get this little print right here. Kind of cool. I had to pick that one up. Here is another thing that I wasn't looking for. Garden Gaia remixes. This is Panther the Prince. He put out an album last year, Garden Gaia. I picked that up. I like Panther the Prince a lot. I usually pick up what he does. And this is the remix accompaniment to Garden Gaia of last year. I wasn't sold on this until I saw there was a remix from none other than Kuniyuki Takahashi. Anything that Kuniyuki does, I buy. Don't need to hear it. He is one of my all-time favorite electronic producers, and whenever I see his name, I just pick it up on sight. Don't need to hear it, and he's on here. And I like this album anyway, so I thought, easy purchase. And the Kuniyuki track is killer, his remix, but it's really his own track. This is something that came out earlier. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Let me show this. I kind of skipped right past this one, but this Garden Gaia remix package is really nice. You get nice glossy inner sleeves. I won't show the labels, but the pressing is really nice. The records are they're made with quality. I would recommend picking this up, and you get the insert. I think it's just a record label insert for the label. Worth every penny, though. I was very happy with this release overall. The music, the physical release, the pressing, all of it kind of went together very well. This I had to pick up, obviously. This has been out for a couple of months. I don't know why it took me so long to pick this up, because as you know, I'm a huge Move D fan. But they've been reissuing Move D and Namlook stuff that came out in the 90s on CD only. They've been kind of picking out a lot of their more dance friendly tracks they did together. Most of it was ambient, pure ambient. But this Away label, the label's called Away, right? Yeah, Away. They've been reissuing select cuts from all that stuff they put out on Fax back in the 90s. There's another video I should do. I don't know if anybody would watch it, but there was a label in the 90s called Fax that Namlook ran, and he and Movedi did a ton of stuff together. It was always good, most of it ambient, but a good portion of it was dance oriented. And Away has been putting out the more dance oriented stuff on wax for the first time. They only put it out on CD at the time, so it's nice to have these cuts on vinyl, at least for me. Here are the labels. I think they've been doing colored vinyl pressings of this. I think maybe this one came out on red. They do funky colors, and then they just have traditional black. I picked up the black. As I've mentioned many times before, if I have a choice, I usually try to pick up just plain black because it sounds better. Very happy to have this. Long, deep dance cuts from one of the masters. And he was a master too. He's been long dead now, but these two together made some magical music. This guy continues to make deeply magical music, and he probably always will. Good for him. I'm almost done here with my recent pickups. This is the new Gus Gus album. Didn't know they had a new album coming. This just popped up last week. I just got this record in the mail yesterday, actually. It's limited, I guess. Gus Gus is a group that I have had a lot of respect for over the years. I haven't really gotten into anything they've done recently. I really love their early stuff, but everything post This Is Normal kind of, I don't know, I kind of lost interest in them. I just I wasn't really into the out and out like trancy progressive house pop vibes that they've been doing for a long time. But this Dancerama is the name of the album, as you can see. Their most recent album here that just came out last week is really good. It reminds me of like vintage Gus Gus. That's just my take, but this sounds a lot like the early stuff. This was a breath of fresh air. I wasn't looking for this, but when I was listening to the sound clips online, I was like, man, that sounds like some classic Gus Gus. So I picked it up, and it definitely sounds that way. I think this is the best thing they've done since This Is Normal, personally. You get the inner sleeve with some lyrics, some cool photos, actually. Um, I gave this a spin yesterday. It actually sounds pretty good. Pressing's not bad. Gus Gus is back, man. I mean, they never went away. But for me personally, I think this is the finest thing they've done for over 20 years. I would deeply recommend this. It said it was limited. I don't know how limited. If you want this on wax, you might have to shop for it. I don't know. I ordered it from Juno, and I noticed that it's already out of stock, so it might be hard to find. And this is the last. Oh man, yeah. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. This is the new Folkadelic compilation. We have a very lovely cover. This is the part of the Mood Mosaic series, and Mood Mosaic this is an Italian label, and they put out they put out these records a couple times a year where it's just like psych rock and jazz and lounge music from the 60s, 70s, sometimes 80s. And their theme is like extremely hot women naked. This one, not so much on the cover. I mean, usually you'll just see full on tits and ass on the cover and on the back cover. But by the way, this is a great compilation. This is one of their best, actually. I usually pick up all of these just because they're really well pressed. The songs they choose, I mean, I hardly have ever heard of the songs they pick and the bands they choose. It's like usually the bands are totally new to me. I have no clue. Never heard of them before. And then you get this. You get this, and this. I'm not even gonna. The other thing you get too is it's always a gatefold sleeve. You open up the gatefold and then you get full tits and ass. They also put a poster in here. I'm not going to show you the gatefold and the poster because it's just full nudity and I don't want to get shut down. But listen, if you want to see, if you appreciate extremely beautiful hot women who are also happen to be naked, it's just another reason for you to pick up this compilation. The music's beautiful, but then you have this. And this particular release, when you open up the gatefold, holy shit, maybe the two most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life are on this gatefold. And they are bearing everything. Sorry if you think I'm a pig right now, but I am a man. I'm a heterosexual man, and I am not going to pretend that I am not motivated by the female form. I love women. I love the way they look. I love the way they walk. I love the way they move. I love the way they taste. I love everything about women. Okay? I am not going to tuck my balls between my legs and act like a woke warrior when it comes to being a heterosexual man. Let's not pretend that we are not motivated by this, men. Let's stop pretending. If you want to tuck your balls between your legs and act like a total pussy and act like you're not motivated by this, that's your problem. I will celebrate naked women until the day I die. And if you want to see two of the most beautiful naked women you've ever seen in your life, buy this and open up the gatefold and get back to me and tell me how hard you're jerking off, because you will be. So those are my new releases or my new pickups, you know, the recent releases that have come out in the last couple of months. There are some other stuff that I've picked up, but I'm going to leave those for my best albums of the year video because, yeah, I don't want to talk. There are some records I'm going to show again that I've already talked about in previous videos this year. So I don't want to overlap or retread old stuff too often on this channel. But yeah, I'm saving some stuff for those best albums of the year videos. Also, I wanted to do a live stream. Let me take a drink of water. I've been talking a lot. Getting some dry mouth here. I was thinking about doing a live stream. I have to be honest with you, I have been feeling less motivated to do live streams. The more I do them, the less motivated I am to do them. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. I just haven't done very many of them, but I'm noticing like what I do live streams spur of the moment because I know I hate planning for them because something pops up and then I have to cancel it. For me, it works better to just randomly, sporadically do them. But I'm noticing that the same people keep showing up. And I'm not trying to denigrate those people that are showing up, but the people that show up tend to derail the topic. And then when I politely ask them to get back on topic, they get kind of surly about it. And I just get bored with that. I'm not looking for surliness on my channel, okay? This is my channel, okay? For you can like it or hate it, but I am in control, so I want things to stay on topic. So I'm going to try and plan a live stream for next Saturday, December 30th. And we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to stick to that, and I'm going to have everyone at least give people a week's notice about a live stream rather than just sporadically doing them. And I'm asking people, if you show up, we're staying on topic. We are not veering off. I'm going to also do a better job of reviewing comments. I tend to just like cover every comment because I want to respect everyone's comments, but I'm getting too many comments that are random, have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. And then my live streams go on for 3 hours. That's not going to happen. So next Saturday, December 30th, I'm going to create, I'm going to create something for it so you can see that it's happening so people can plan for it if they can show up. And yeah, most importantly, stay on topic, people. If you're not on topic, I'm not going to cover your questions. It's just, I don't have 3 hours to do these live streams, and we're not going to talk about what you want to talk about. If like the last live stream I did a Richard Kirk live stream, and it got so off topic and off subject. I didn't even know what we were talking about by the end of it. And my feed ended up getting cut off, and I ended up not coming back because it was just like, this is not going anywhere. And I didn't end up posting that live stream. So people, I love you for showing up, but stay focused, man. The focus is going to be our favorite releases of the year. I'm going to do a video, my own video, actually two. I'm going to do two videos of what my favorite records are of the year. And then we're going to do a live stream and just talk about what our favorite releases of the year are. There you go. And if it strays off the beaten path, I'm not going to cover your comments. In fact, I might block your comments for that video. It doesn't mean I'll block you from my channel. It just means that if people can't stay on point, I'm going to block their comments because I'm in control, okay? Of the very, very, very minimal amount of things in my life, the infinitesimal amount of things in my life that I can control, this is one of them. So I know that might hurt for you OCD control mongers out there, but you're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, I'm going to slug down the rest of this water. I'm going to go stare at this gatefold for a couple more hours and maybe watch the football game. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But as for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.